the fact that I finally have some good light to film in is rare as fuck, and I'm going to use this opportunity to the fullest. What's up? I'm Greg. Welcome back to my channel. So, I finally finished every variable of us. It has been a hot ass minute, but I finally finished it, and I will be reviewing it today. I will try to be I'll try to have as little spoilers as possible, but I make no promises. Also, a couple of life updates. I've started reading this freaking book, and I hate it. I'm not even 30, no, I am. I'm not even 50 pages in, and it's cringe. It's very cringe. And bitches will complain that they want more books like Red, White, and Royal Blue, but then complain that it's not Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's me. I'm bitches. And honestly, I don't know what it is, but this gave me Red, White, and Royal Blue vibes, but it is very not that. And someone told me that the author is a playwright, and yeah, I can very clearly see that. I'm contemplating DNFing it, but I might not. I don't know. We'll see how far I get with this thing. Because honestly, I might ditch it altogether and start reading off the record. Anyway, forget that. Let's jump into this review. So as always, I'll be putting trigger warnings for this book, both in this video and in the description. So y'all cannot tell me that you did not get trigger warnings from me. Also, if my hair is doing some weird shit, I'm sorry, but I just took the braids out and it's a mess. Anyway, so every variable of us follows a girl named Alexis, or we all call her Lex. I say we like I know her, like she's my friend. Anyway, the story follows Lex. Lex is from Hardgrove, Philadelphia. She is, hood girl. But she doesn't do drugs, or she tries to avoid drugs and gangs and all that. And she is actually a very prominent basketball star. She wants to get her scholarship. She wants to get the hell out of Hardgrove. She just wants to grind her way out of there. And then the new girl, Aamani, comes into town, and everything starts to get a little fruity, if you know what I mean. Because up until this point, Lex is just yeah, dudes, whatever, okay. But she's never really, been into dating and sex and all that. She's not ace, I can tell you that much. Anyway, after a few little things that happen, she gets shot. And this is not a spoiler, this is actually in the blurb, so whatever. So yeah, Lex gets shot, and there goes her basketball career. But this new girl, Aamani, not wanting to give up on her, is just hey, so you want to get the fuck out of here, and you can't play basketball anymore. How about you try for STEM? And she's like, what the fuck is STEM? Not gonna lie, I did not know what STEM was either. So the girl, Lex, has to audition, or not audition, is it audition? Try out? Anyway, she has to try to get on the academic team. And she does. And surprise, surprise, she enjoys it. She enjoys learning. She loves, learning shit. And from this, there is tension between her and her old friends, because they're like, oh, you ditched us for these nerds. And her new friends are just okay, we trust you, but don't, stab us in the back. Lex does not make the best decisions. But I will say this, it was not a predictable book. It was, however, hilarious as fuck. And geeky as fuck. I posted some screenshots, some out of context screenshots on my Instagram and on my TikTok, because this book is just fucking hilarious, people. The only reason it took me so long to actually read this book is because I had to read it on my phone, and I hate reading on my phone because the screen is so small and my fingers are so fucking big, so it's a headache. I will say this, the book starts off a little bit rocky because there is some, how do I put this? I'm just gonna say Islamophobia. The girl, Aamani, the new girl, is Indian. Her parents are from India, but she was born in New Jersey. But upon first glance, Lex and her old best friend, Britt, assumed they were Muslim because, well, obviously, isn't that how it always goes? There were comments made, and I was just let's not do that. However, there is a lot of character development, because once Lex realizes or is told that Aamani isn't Muslim but rather Hindu, she actually does make an effort to, not fuck up. And that's one of the things I liked most about this book, is that there is a lot of character development right off the bat. Like, as soon as she learns that Aamani isn't Muslim, rather Hindu, she's like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And, obviously, with the Islamophobia that I mentioned, there was some mentions of stereotypical things, like, the T word. I'm not gonna say, I'm just gonna put it here. So yeah, once you get over that hurdle in the book, it is smooth sailing from there. Well, I mean, not really, again, trigger warnings, but still. And I think, okay, I'm not an expert on Hindu culture, I am absolutely not, but I think that the book is well researched within Hindu culture, because Aamani's culture is referenced a lot in the language, the clothes that they wear, the music that they play, the food that they eat, just everything in general, from her family to her culture, is written in great detail, or not, I wouldn't say great detail, it does have a lot of detail. So it wasn't just like a quick 5-minute Google search and was like, okay, yeah, this is what the thing is called, let's just put it in there. I am not sure. Again, not an expert, that's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But the thing about it is that it's not just, like, the characters don't revolve around their stereotypes, because obviously there are stereotypes, but their personalities and their characteristics are not, like, revolving around those stereotypes. Aamani, for example, is geeky as fuck. Like, she has referenced everything under the sun except a certain boy wizard whom must not be named. But this is the very first book that I've ever read that mentions iZombie, the TV show. And I fucking love iZombie, so I loved that it was in there. There was everything from Disney, Marvel, DC, freaking, like, everything. These are the examples I can think of at the moment, I'm sorry. But also, the characters are not one-dimensional. The characters really, like, pop, or, what's the right word for this? I don't know, for me, they really came to life. Especially the characters on the STEM team, because, like, at first glance, they're just like, oh, okay, they're nerds, but, like, they're so much deeper than that. One of them is, what's the word for this? I'm gonna say special. I guess I can't think of the proper word right now, but I'm just gonna say special. And it's mentioned, and it's not a big deal. Like, it's like, they're like, yeah, okay, he has this thing. It's whatever. And you can see it in the way he speaks and the way he acts, but it doesn't define him. It doesn't hold him back. It's just part of who he is, and I absolutely love that. If I had to go into detail about things I didn't like, I would start with, well, first of all, the Islamophobia within the first couple of pages. Yes, you heard me correctly, within the first couple of pages. But also, certain times, the characters just, they irked me. And obviously there are mentions of, like, drugs, gangs, shootings, violence. And that, I don't know, that just does not sit right with me. So here's my thing. I have this thing where I absolutely refuse to, like, read books or watch movies or TV shows that revolve around these things. Because these are black stereotypes. Like, everyone from the hood, everyone does drugs, everyone is in a gang, or whatever the hell. So me personally, I tend to stay away from these stories, but I am glad that I read this book, because it doesn't, while that is an aspect of it, it is not the main aspect. It's not the main focus point. There are so many more things happening, and when that does happen, you're just like, oh shit, yeah, this is a thing. So if you're like me and you also tend to avoid those kind of stories, I would recommend reading this book, because it, again, while it is a part of that book itself, it is not the main thing. It is not the only thing. It's not just the girl from the hood who's trying to escape. Well, I mean, yes, it is kind of, her character arc, but it's not the only thing about her. It's not the only thing that the book is about. There is so much about self-discovery, discovering, like, herself and her sexuality, mentions of culture, religions, just everything, and it's handled so well. One of my favorite things from this book itself was there was a lot of talk of astrology, because at a certain point the main character Lex does get into astrology, and she loves astrology. I know absolutely jack shit about astrology, but now I kind of want to look it up just because of this book. Like, I know that we're not the only people in the universe or the only beings in the universe, and there's so much more out there, but I never really got into astrology, and now I just might. At the end of the day, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because it's just great. I love it. It is well written. There's great character development. The characters themselves are fantastic. They're hilarious. It's geeky. It's funny. It is, again, it starts off rocky, but once it gets going, it gets going. There are emotional scenes in the book that just made me want to bawl my eyes out, and I texted the writer himself. It's like, bitch, what the fuck? The fuck, bro. But I am so glad that I got the opportunity to read this book. I'm so happy that I got an arc. I'm happy that I managed to finish it before my 60 days were up on that galley. But again, 5 out of 5 stars. And Every Variable of Us comes out March 1st, 2022. There's only a few months left. Pre-order it. Do it. Pre-order this book. So before I wrap this video up, I just wanted to give one big shout out and one big thank you to the author, Charles A. Bush, for allowing me to have the opportunity to read this book, giving me the opportunity to review this book, and giving me an opportunity to actually love this freaking book. I love it so much, you guys. Do yourselves a favor, pre-order this book. It is worth it. And while pre-ordering, I feel like I should remind you guys that there is going to be a book shortage coming up. Or if it's already started, I don't know, but it is definitely coming up. And don't think this is just a European thing or an American thing. It's everywhere. No one knows exactly how long this book shortage is going to be, but if you want books, I would suggest you pre-order them now. Or get a Kindle or an iPad or something to read them digitally, because physical books are going to be scarce. That was my PSA for the day. Anyway, again, thank you so much to Charles for letting me read this book in advance, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I hope this review was good or that it made sense. Not gonna lie, I've been at this for almost a year and I still do not know completely what I'm doing. But we try. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.